Police are calling it a gun exchange gone wrong after they think a man was accidentally shot in the stomach. A former Kentucky priest in jail in Florida right now is facing extradition back to the Bluegrass for a child porn investigation. And a unique team in Louisville is spreading awareness about Down syndrome, one dance move at a time.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon. Sam, Dick, and Amber Philpott reporting. An investigation is underway after a man was shot at a Lancaster gas station.
Police say no charges have been filed as the preliminary investigation points to an accident. As WKYT's Phil Pendleton tells us, the shooting happened during what police are calling a gun exchange. It's our top story at 4:30.
It happened here just before 9 o'clock on Monday night. Police say they received a report of a shooting, and when they got here, they say they found a man laying in the parking lot with a gunshot wound to the stomach. Police say two men chose this spot as a halfway point to exchange weapons. They say Christopher Wallace and another man had met on a social media site to trade these weapons. I'm told during that exchange, a pistol went off, hitting Wallace one time.
As of this time, the shooter has not been charged. The investigation is still ongoing. We are still going over witness statements and evidence collected at the scene. Everything will be presented to the Commonwealth Attorney at a later date for their review to see if they believe any criminal proceedings need to be initiated against the subject that was examining the weapon when it discharged.
And we are told that Wallace was airlifted to the University of Kentucky Medical Center, and following surgery, he has been listed in stable condition. In Garrett County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Some Kentucky parents are worried after learning a former Louisville priest has been targeted in a child porn investigation.
Stephen Pohl resigned from St. Margaret Mary last week. As Morgan Lentis reports, parents are shocked to learn what their former priest is accused of.
I just asked them basic questions like has he taken their picture that they're aware of? Have they been touched by him? Anything like that.
3 of Mary Hall's children attend St. Margaret Mary, and she says since learning of the allegations against Stephen Pohl, she's wondered if her children were involved.
That's probably the hardest part right now, is the waiting and the wondering.
On Monday, an arrest warrant detailed how investigators say Pohl would take aside individual students, in one case asking a boy to pose for a picture with his legs spread apart. The warrant says in one photo, quote, one can clearly see up the child's shorts and underwear. That boy then went home to tell his parents he had a weird encounter with Pohl. The warrant explains that his parents then confronted the pastor in a store where they took his phone and found the images. They said, quote, Father Steve was shaking like a leaf. Investigators then discovered pornographic images involving children who were not associated with St. Margaret Mary on Pohl's computer. It's just another detail of this case that has many parents feeling uneasy.
Well, obviously we're all shocked. You know, it's pretty upsetting.
Despite that, Hall believes the school will be able to move past all this, given time. She says she still has faith in the staff charged with keeping her kids safe.
The school is doing their best to protect our kids, and I think, you know, moving forward, that the community is just going to kind of rally around each other.
The Archdiocese of Louisville has a victim assistance coordinator to help parents talk to their children about the situation. It is another beautiful fall-like day here in the Bluegrass with plenty of sunshine, low humidity. I'm loving this.
Yes, aren't we all? And this trend does not appear to be leaving us anytime soon. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. How about it, Chris?
Yeah, we're going to keep the old gravy train rolling for a few more days, guys. And you want to talk about just perfect weather. If you are a fall fan, it's the month of August. It could very well easily be the hottest point of a summertime around here. We've had it before where it's been scorching hot this time of year. There's nothing that is even remotely warm or mild. This is cool. Normal temperatures are mid to upper 80s still. Look outside at our skyline and look at those little flat pancake cumulus clouds as far as the eye can see over top of Hamburg Pavilion. And those clouds show up on Defender. We take the precipitation off there and just show the clouds. Look at those cotton ball clouds that are scattered across the area with temperatures that are mainly this afternoon into the low 70s with a partly sunny sky. That is hard to do this time of year. Sun is still at a pretty good angle right now. We look outside again in most locations, from Frankfort into Georgetown, Lexington, and across parts of Madison County, and everybody coming back with that similar sky cam that we're seeing out there right now. If you're out this evening, temperatures are upper 60s to around 70. That's it at 7 o'clock this evening. Then it is a quick drop as the sun sets toward the low 60s. And already, guys, by 11 this evening, upper 50s will begin to show up. It is the chill of an early fall that is settling into central and eastern Kentucky. 7-day forecast. We'll track it when I come back in a few.
So we will see you then. Thank you. A dance team in Kentucky is busting a move and spreading awareness about Down syndrome. Kate Springer reports.
Foot tapping, hand clapping, hip swaying music filters through this makeshift dance studio where 24 dancers step to the beat of today's biggest hits. With each move, the members of the Boogie Down crew dance to break down barriers associated with Down syndrome.
I've heard that we are the most fun dance crew in Louisville.
Part of Down Syndrome of Louisville, the group includes members from Kentucky and Indiana. Their youngest, 11, their oldest, 60 years young, each with a smile bigger than the next and a passion for moving.
It's really amazing because they don't care about the steps. They care about expressing themselves and having a good time, and the steps just are there.
Coach and choreographer Carly Stotts took over the team 2 years ago. What started as a way for members to get some exercise has taken on a life of its own. Each song with specific choreography that dancers pick up immediately and perform with enthusiasm.
They will follow me to the ends of the earth. Like they will follow anything, and they do pick it up, and they are so willing to try. That's the coolest thing about it.
She's pushed the group to perform throughout the area, sharing the stage with professionals at Shakespeare in the Park, where they refuse to be upstaged.
Our final song, half of the audience was up on stage dancing with us. And I think that most of them probably had never even heard of Down syndrome of Louisville. So that's a huge thing for me, is to help spread awareness of individuals with Down syndrome.
An inclusive environment where everyone tries their hardest. Dancers like 19-year-old Lucas Fortwangler.
I was doing the worm dance.
Who never holds back when he takes center stage.
Feels so good, makes me happy.
Dropping moves and removing the stigma associated with disabilities.
A lot of them were told they wouldn't be able to do anything, and then with them out there dancing, you know, they're out there proving, hey, look what we can do.
A dance troupe where nothing is off limits. Everyone is capable, and they dance like everyone is watching.
Well, let's have fun, like, all together as a team.
The auto racing world is mourning the loss of a British IndyCar driver who was injured during a race in Pennsylvania.
Kenneth Craig explains how Justin Wilson died.
IndyCar driver Justin Wilson died Monday from a head injury he received during a race Sunday at the Pocono Raceway. A piece of debris that fell off another car hit Wilson in the head. His car then careened into the wall at the racetrack. The 37-year-old was taken to a hospital in Allentown by helicopter. He died with his family at his bedside. IndyCar officials announced his death Monday evening.
Justin's elite ability to drive a race car was matched by his unwavering kindness, character, and humility.
Wilson was British but lived in Longmont, Colorado near Denver. IndyCar officials say he was respected by teammates and competitors alike.
You know, he was a great guy. You know, one of the few, if only, guy that really was a friend among everyone in the paddock.
Wilson is the first IndyCar driver to die because of an on-track accident since 2011. He leaves behind a wife and 2 young daughters. Kenneth Craig, CBS News.
Wilson raced for the Andretti Autosports team. He competed for 13 seasons in open-wheel racing and won 7 times.
As the investigation into the hack of the Ashley Madison website continues, authorities now say it may be linked to suicides. The site is based in Toronto, Canada. Police there say there are 2 unconfirmed reports of suicides linked to the data dump. In addition, police say users have been receiving extortion emails saying their information could be erased for a fee. They say this is a lie, however, that the information cannot be erased. The parent company of the website is offering a $378,000 reward for information on the hackers.
A report by the Department of Transportation's Inspector General says the FAA has still not created a database to help track and weed out poorly trained pilots. Back in 2010, Congress mandated better monitoring of pilots and called on the FAA to track pilot performance. The audit found that the FAA is still years away from creating such a database and probably won't fully comply with the congressional mandate for another 8 years.
Well, it can't get any better than this. Fun, food, music, and games. It's happening this weekend at Masterson Station Park here in Lexington.
Deanne Stevens is out and about with all the details. Hey, Deanne.
Good afternoon, guys, from Masterson Station Park, where we are preparing for the Moon Tower Music Festival. It is happening this Saturday, and you better get your tickets now. Outgrew the space from last year. So many folks here to enjoy it. We have Kelsey and Kaylin with us. Kelsey, you got some fabulous acts lined up for this weekend.
Yes, we have 18 bands coming, a lot from Lexington. Moon Taxi's coming back. J. Roddy Waltz in the Business is also headlining. We have Apache Relay. We have Grayson Jenkins. It'll be a great day.
It sounds like a whole lot of fun. Kaylin, what all is involved? It's not just about music. Like, got games and dogs and kids.
Yes, it's kid-friendly and dog-friendly, so definitely bring the whole family out. We've got lots of local food trucks, great craft beer. It's really all about supporting local. So local businesses, local food. It's a waste-free event. We've partnered with several groups in town, and proceeds go to Central Music Academy, which exists to support Lexington kids with music lessons.
Love that. Okay, we're going to tell you how you can get your tickets in a minute, but first we're going to let Grayson take it away with a little music, a little preview of what you're going to see this weekend at the Moontown Music Festival. Grayson will be here, part of the Moon Tower Music Festival on Saturday, Masterson Station Park. Get your tickets now at moontowermusicfestival.com. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
Really is a fun event. And anytime you can have local music and then all of the local food and beer and everything, it's just great.
And you're a fan of Grayson?
I am. We love Grayson. We just saw him Sunday night play, so best of luck to him playing out there this weekend. Well, more guests are announced for the first week of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and it's a mix of celebrities, politicians, and business moguls.
Suzanne Marquez has your eye on entertainment.
Workers lit up the sign outside the Ed Sullivan Theater as the premiere of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert gets closer. Additional guests announced for the first week include actresses Scarlett Johansson and Amy Schumer, as well as SpaceX and Tesla Motors CEO Elon Musk and the CEO of Uber. The Late Show premieres Tuesday, September 8th. Mad Men's Elizabeth Moss walked the red carpet at New York's Museum of Modern Art for her new film, Queen of Earth.
I could murder you right now and no one would ever know.
Moss plays a woman whose relationship with her best friend takes a dark turn.
We've had people laugh. We've had people say it was really scary. We've had people say it was really creepy or they were moved by it. We've had so many different sort of reactions to it.
Queen of Earth opens Wednesday.
Between your heart and mine.
And after a nearly 5-year break, the Judds are reuniting for a series of shows in Las Vegas. The mother-daughter country duo are scheduled for 9 performances at the Venetian in October. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Suzanne Marquez, CBS News, Hollywood.
This forecast gets an A+. Don't you think?
A++, I
think.
think.
So does the chief meteorologist.
Absolutely, Chris Bailey. How about that for you?
I feel very scholarly today. All right, top of the dean's list with the grades like that, guys. Hard to fail, though, on a day like this. Absolutely gorgeous weather across central and eastern Kentucky. Those temperatures mainly 70 to 75 all afternoon long, with a mix of sun and some clouds throughout the entire region. But overall, low humidity, sun, very nice weather throughout the entire region. Low 70s showing up across most of the bluegrass area. Northern Kentucky, we've had a struggle today to get our thermometer to 70 degrees. It is August. We actually have some sun that is out there. But again, that big area of low pressure across other parts of Canada funneling in the cooler air. Coming up a little later on, we'll talk about just how close we may get to record lows tonight. That's when I come back here in about 15 minutes.
There's a collision on DeLong at DeLong Lane. That's an injury crash that has DeLong pretty much blocked right now, just down from Richmond Road. It's DeLong and DeLong Lane. I-75 in Fayette County, no problems between the northern and southern split. Decent shape there on the exit ramp, but there at the 110, there's a stalled car at the bottom. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. To become a WKYT Live driver and download the Waze app, go to WKYT.com. Under the News tab, click on Traffic for more information. Breaking world records, a fragile house, and an unusual wedding venue. It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this.
A teenager from Michigan combined a couple of his talents to achieve his dream, having his name in the Guinness Book of World Records. 14-year-old Stuart can solve a Rubik's Cube in minutes. He can also ride a unicycle with ease. Well, it turns out combining those two talents was his ticket to glory.
That would be an accident waiting to happen for me.
I can't do
for
either
sure.
one,
no,
really.
either one,
Much
no.
less together.
Well, they say don't throw stones in a glass house, and that is the advice that a 73-year-old Central Asian man should take literally. He has an unusual house built entirely of glass bottles. Over the course of 4 years, he collected 60,000 glass bottles with the help of friends and family. He put together his 3-room home, complete with a bottle-laden yard as well.
Unique. A Texas couple originally planned to get married before their baby was born, but they never expected to say their vows in the hospital. Stephanie Talent and Jason Neese were attending a scheduled ultrasound when the doctor informed Stephanie she was going into labor. So without much time, the couple decided to tie the knot. The hospital's chaplain was called, married the couple. There you go. And then only a few hours later, the newlyweds gave birth to a healthy baby girl. Well, if you got to get married, right, you know, just do it now. And then the really important thing,
wrap it all up, get it all together,
Yes.
and you can be mom and dad for sure.
Good for
There
them.
you go.
One stop.
One stop shop for sure.